All right, I'm going to go over the steps on how we create a halftone image in Photoshop, but when we are planning on using a white or a light ink on a dark colored shirt. These steps are different from when we use a black or a dark ink on a light colored shirt. And so you should watch the appropriate video. So if you are planning on printing this on a black shirt or on a dark shirt with white ink, this is the video for you. And there's just one extra step, but I made two separate videos just to kind of help simplify that approach. So the very first thing I need to do is I need to convert my image to grayscale. So I'm going to go to Image, Mode, Grayscale. All right. Now on here, I have some options here. I want to go ahead and choose Don't Flatten. And I can choose Rasterize. That's fine. I can click Discard. That's fine. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it so that I still have all my layers. If I chose Flatten, I don't get my layers. And that's going to mess up our process because the next step is we're actually going to come over here into our adjustment layers. Okay. There are two spots. You should have them here in your toolbar. We need this invert one. We can add it here this way, or we can click on the little new fill or adjustment layer down at the bottom, and we can choose invert here as well. So you have a couple of spots where you can choose it, but we need to add an inverted layer. Now this looks weird right now, but the reason is because we need whatever we want to actually print to be black. Well, if we're printing with white ink, we need to just flip that around. And so we're going to use this invert function for that very purpose, okay? Now, the thing that we do need to change is we don't want a black background. If I were to make this as my design, I would have to print this whole solid giant black square as a part of my design. And to get rid of that, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the new adjustment layer again, or the new solid fill. We're going to choose a solid color, and we need to basically move that picker so that it's a solid white background. Okay, I'm going to click OK, and now I have this set. It's a solid white background, and so I'm ready to now actually make my halftoning. All right, it looks like the exact opposite of what it should be, which is right for what we're doing. So now I'm going to go to Image Mode Bitmap, and I'm going to go ahead and now I can flatten the layers. And so for our settings, we want our output to be at most 200. I will say when we go with a white ink, it's a little safer to make it a little bigger. Our screens have a 160 mesh, so 160 is a really safe number here for the output. And then make sure we have it set to halftone screen. We click OK. And then these numbers are going to be the same no matter what. And that's a 25 lines per inch frequency and at a 45-degree angle. And we need to set the shape to round. And then we just click OK. And now we have our halftone. Now it looks a little wonky as we, depending on the angle we're looking at it. Screens tend to kind of make things a little weirder. Plus, it's a negative. All right. And so it kind of looks weird because we haven't printed it yet. If we were to print this, it would look a little more normal because we're going to be printing this with a light colored ink. It's not going to have some of the quirkiness to it that it has right now. Once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and go to File, Export. Quick export is PNG. We'll call that one white. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into Illustrator. I'm going to find that file that I just made. I'm going to drag it into my design or into Illustrator. And once it's here in Illustrator, I do not want to resize it. Okay. It needs to stay this same size because that's the settings are proper on that size. But you'll notice that we lost our registration marks. All we need to do is right click on that layer, go to Arrange, and then Send to Back. And now we're all set. All we need to do now is select our picture and our two registration marks. Just click this horizontal line center so that we know everything is lined up right. Save this, and we're set and ready to go.